One of the unique features of Crosstracks is the ability to customize the access of your clients. Now, client access is not absolutely necessary, but you'll still have to set the client up into the system. Whether or not you want to notify them that the system exists, that's up to you and is determined by how your business operates, what type of clients you deal with, and so on. In order to customize your client access, we're going to click on Settings, and then in the Users and Security section, we're going to click on Roles and Access. This is the same area where you go to customize your admin roles and your investigator roles. There's also videos on those sections as well. We're going to focus on the client role for this particular video. So just like all the other roles, you can edit the role name. If you just wanted to call this main client 2 or something like that, you can change the name. The middle icon here is where you manage the role access, and the one on the far right, the trash can, of course, is the delete. Let's manage the access for this client role, the default client, which when you first enter a client into Crosstracks, this is the role that the client is automatically assigned. Up here in the top, you'll see the explanations as to what these access items refer to: no access, full access, modify. Modify is also commonly referred to as edit. So here on the left-hand side, you have the module or the section of the Crosstracks case management system that these access items refer to. So for the case budget, you have two options. Do you want the client to have no access to that budget, or do you want the client to be able to view the budget? To change those items, you just select from the drop-down and click the checkbox. As part of best practices, most investigators do not allow their client to see a case budget. There's many reasons behind that. The client could log in and see that a portion of the budget was used, and you just really don't want to get into discussions with clients. So most of the investigators that use the Crosstracks platform do the no access for client budget. Case detail screen, you can allow the client to modify, have no access, or view. Same goes for case notes. The files, whether they're audio, documents, photos, or videos, have a little different access level. You can give them the ability to view, have no access at all, or be able to modify and upload. If you don't want the client uploading video or photos, then just give them view access. The next one is report entries, and that is a view or no access. If your investigators are doing report entries inside of Crosstracks, you probably want to designate this as no access to this client. You don't want them to go in and see a half-completed report or maybe a time entry that's not fully done. So really depends on what you want to do, but we recommend the no access for report entries. Now, how does this apply, or how do you apply this to a client? Click on Clients. We're going to go to the contact list, and we're going to click on this James Brown client. Down here, you have the role field, and there are the 3 roles that are available in the system. You can select from each one of those 3 roles. Now, going back to the settings for those particular roles, I'm going to click on Roles and Access again. If you want to add a role, you can click this plus sign here up in the upper right. Now, when would you want to add a client role? Well, if you have a full service agency, for example, you're conducting all types of different investigations, you may have different roles for different types of clients. For example, you may want a domestic client to be able to do absolutely nothing in the system, but you want to give them access to view the case because that makes them feel better. You can certainly do that. So you may give a domestic client different access than you would an insurance client. You may give an attorney different rights than you would give a corporate client. So you can certainly do that, and there's all kinds of options available for you with clients, investigators, and admins. As I mentioned before, there are different videos for each one of these sections. So just to recap, you're going to click on Settings in order to manage the client roles. You can add a role by clicking on the green plus sign. You can edit the role name by clicking on the edit icon. The Manage Access icon is in the middle. You can delete a role by clicking on the trash can. Before you delete a role, you'll need to remove that role from any active users. In order to apply those roles to clients, click on the Client tab, Contact List, click on the contact you want to apply the role to. Down at the bottom of the client's profile, you can select the appropriate role that you want them to have.